Welcome to What Matters Most.
We are dedicated to educating the community about holistic, metaphysical, and spiritual topics.
Each week, we discuss things that matter most in life, the things that are most important to you that may have fallen to the wayside.
We are always centered on the idea of simplifying life, connecting with our neighbors, and following our true paths.
Our mission is to empower you to live the life that you've always dreamed of living.
We invite you to focus your life on what matters most. And we're back with What Matters Most, and we are here with Theresa Roba, the psychic medium. So Theresa, tell us, once we have family members who have passed, what can we do? I think one of the biggest things for people is that they miss that loved one, they miss the deceased, and they want to connect with them. They miss them so badly, and they want to do anything. What can we do to either A, pay attention to signs they're giving us, or how can we connect with them without having to go to, just everyday life?
Yeah. Well, one of the first things I tell people when I do what I do is everyone in this room, including myself, has this gift. We're all airports that are open for whenever Spirit wants to fly in and give us some kind of evidence of their presence.
Okay.
Basically, the best way to become sensitive is to stay, one thing I'm going to say first is to stay true to a higher form of grief. And what I mean by that is grief is a form of love. That's the ache in your heart of missing them in the physical. That's what God told me. I'm not that smart. That's so poetic, isn't it? That didn't come from me. That's said God told me to tell people that grief is a form of love. That is the ache in your heart of missing them in the physical. Stay there. Once you leave that and go into poor me or poor them or whatever, you're pushing them away. When you stay in the love, being in love with them, that ache pulls us closer to them, believe it or not. Grief can actually pull you closer to them if you ache and you feel like you want them there. Because you're going to look up instead of looking down at your bills and the laundry you have to do when you miss them, aren't you?
Right.
So when you look up, you're focusing on them. What you focus on, you become. What you focus on grows. And what you want to focus on is being them. Almost like as if you want to melt into their energy, be closer to it.
Wow.
So what I suggest is holy ground. Because if you want to bring your vibration up to meet theirs, to feel and sense them more, you want to go to something that's going to bring you up. Reading a book on this, like anything about the afterlife, anything about heaven, spirit love-based, God-based. You want to listen. You want to pray. You want to learn to meditate. Meditate is a form of prayer, but it's listening instead of speaking.
Okay.
Right? And you'll spin up, spin up, spin up. Even if when you're done you say thank you, go back to your laundry, whatever, the more and more you meditate, when you go back to that laundry, you're going to still be up there a little bit.
Oh, yeah, okay, your vibration.
In the car. When you're alone, they target that time for you.
Huh.
When you're on vacation, when you're not working and you're very ground-based, you're up there, you know what I mean? So they'll come at you. Signs will be everywhere. Remember that they're not going to appear to you and say, hi, I'm really your father.
Huh?
Later, I am your father. Like the burning bush or anything. Don't wait for that voice or that presence because that's all the movies. What you want to remember is get rid of the word signs and think of the word symbol. Look for symbols of their presence.
Wow.
Symbols would be the car, make, and model that drives by. That's the car they used to drive. Mm-hmm. That song, that pulls me to a memory of them. I'm smelling cigarette smoke. Oh, my God, they were heavy.
Oh, yes, I've had that happen, Theresa. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Because out of nowhere, I'd start to smell cigarette smoke, and my mother smoked. And where did that come from?
Well,
Ma.
Sign of your mother's presence.
Yeah.
Everybody has more than one person that has passed. But how can they get you to believe? One, it's got to be such a big sign that you believe. Doubt, we're in a doubter's world. Two, that you pulled it directly to them and not anybody else's past.
Yeah.
And that you get the message. And basically, it's that I'm there. I'm there with you. Okay? So, focusing on just doing anything to do with this, prayer, do rituals, whatever religion you are. Don't go to please the priest or the whatever, the rabbi. You go to connect with spirit. You go in honor of them. And that sacrifice you're giving up, and you get blessed.
Okay? Gotcha. So can you tell, I'm actually curious, do you connect with only past people, or do you connect with spirit guides and angels and all of the above?
Put it this way, I'm an airport. My job is to keep it clean and open for service.
Okay.
And whoever pulls in, but it's only spirit. Spirit is God, saints, spirit guides. It's your guardian angels. It's angels that come as needed. It is people, pets,
Yeah.
It may be even people that you don't like. They want to say, I'm sorry. And they may be, and there's people that come in that actually will talk of a spirit that's on a lower level. And that spirit is literally a guide for that person. It's not your guide or the person. And they're going to ask you to pray for them. And that's a little bit of an SOS, but that's rare.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, and so are you also communicating with like the Ascended Masters and all of that too, Theresa?
I have Saint Germain.
Yes.
He came to me. I called him Saint German.
Yeah.
And I'm Catholic, so I'm looking up Saint German, and I find this girl. Nope, he was a guy, and I know what he looked like. And he walked into a holistic metaphysical store, and I said, "Does anybody know who Saint Germain is?" Oh, they gave me the book. Oh, he was very popular, supposedly. So I have my gang. What it is I believe that they are out there looking down, and they look around for who can sense them. And then they go, oh, yeah, he's a little stuck up, and that one, oh, she's a little nuts, but I'll take care of that. And, and I believe they're my clients. They can come in my car. They can be on the phone. They could be bugging me. I've been in Thanksgiving stuffing a turkey, chopping onions and celery, and I get this boy come, you got to call my mom, you got to call my mom. And all of a sudden I got a memory of this woman calling a week before for an appointment, and it's standing out in my head. You got to call her. I call her. She's got a gun to her head, ready to kill herself.
Oh.
So I could be, and of course, God, thank God, the son came to me saying, stop. You got to stop what you're doing and call my mother right now. You got to call her right now. I've been at where I had a woman hang out with me for a week in spirit. She liked me. And a year later, she came while I'm waiting for an appointment. You got to call my daughter right now. And I was like, why? What? I'm late. Can we wait on this? No. And I was like, oh, I don't even know where your number could be. It's a year ago. Among the mayhem of my death is not her daughter's number sticking out on a Post-it and it's sticking out where I noticed it, and it's her number. I said, oh, I got to call. I said, and her name was Dina. I said, Dina, your mother Diane is here. I know it sounds crazy, but I got to go to work. I'm running late, but she's here. She's in her wedding gown. She started crying. I'm in my wedding gown ready to leave for the church.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's off the clock, on the clock. It literally is that they're in a world that looks like ours. It has streets, but not streets that need cars. It has like pathways to go different places, buildings, grass, flowers that are colors that aren't here of this earth. There's no ache, illness, disease, or death of the body, but you look the same. And of course, every woman's in a size 5, right?
I should say that.
And every man looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. There is no age, there is no elderly or infancy in heaven. So nobody's changing diapers, nobody has their false teeth in a cup. So, but when they visit us, they'll come to us as they know us. It's called soul recognition.
Okay.
Grandmother, you only knew your mother's mother as looking a certain way. You didn't know her looked like Marilyn Monroe, right? Where her husband, if he was alive, sure would remember her.
Right.
She would come to you in a dream, which is a visit, or in meditation, which is in the mind's eye of the mind, as you knew her as an elderly woman. But she is not that elderly woman, okay? So how can you do this? By doing it. Knowing that you're not doing anything but waiting, like as if you're waiting, you turned on the TV and you're waiting for a picture to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Letting go and releasing and surrendering, you get it a lot. trying to control, and I got to meditate. I'm just thinking you're really doing it. You're never going to meditate.
Teresa, I have a question for you relative to serendipitous situations. Do they influence those types of things that happen to us in our lives, or is that something that they're not related to?
They're absolutely related to serendipity. Serendipity is one of their languages, how they talk to us. There is no such thing as coincidence.
Right.
I was literally on the boardwalk yesterday in Wildwood, and I sat down, and a guy on a bike, comes riding down the boardwalk. He had that Rod Stewart bleached out white, white hair. He had the headphones on, and he's riding the bike. He looked like he was really out there, if you know what I mean. And he's singing along to the song, and he looks right at me as he goes right by me and says, "We're watching you." Going. And he smiled at me with a wink, and he kept going. Now, anybody else would be like, "Wow, that guy's nuts." I heard it. They're watching me. We were together a cousin's weekend yesterday where we hadn't seen each other in a long time. And we were like a pack of cousins that lived right across the street around the corner where we grew up with each other. We finally made time to get together. That was my aunt and my mom and my dad and all that saying that they're there. They're watching.
Oh, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
That is wild.
It's across the street. They pipe the music.
Right.
There's an old song where I'm watching you.
Yeah.
Started playing, and we all looked at each other. Okay.
That is true.
Someone would say a coincidence. I don't. I think they orchestrated that, and I believe it was all timing, and it was our ability now to use it to make our life better or throw it away to wishful thinking. I like using it to be happier.
So, Theresa, tell me, I know last time we spoke, you mentioned that there are some gifts that spirit people end up receiving maybe from spirit, I guess, as they're about to pass or as they are passing. Can you explain that to our listeners?
Yeah, real quick. When everybody passes, God looks inside your heart and soul and sees who you most ache to see in heaven who's already crossed over before you. God appoints them to come for you.
Oh.
And at that moment, or right before even, due to people's Alzheimer's, coma, if not, right when you release from the body, you receive these two gifts. One is the power to hear all our thoughts only connected to them. And that's where we bow our head and say, "Thank you, Jesus." Okay, so they can hear all your thoughts only connected to them.
So, Theresa, tell us what matters most to you on the larger scale of the work that you're doing. What matters most?
What matters most to me is to be grateful for all Spirit does to connect, direct, and heal, and fill us with love. To remember that we are really loved. In other words, they work very hard. The people in heaven, your spirit guides, your angels, God himself, the people that have passed, they work so hard to connect with us, to direct us in our life, to heal us, and to fill us with love, and to help us remember that we are truly all love. They bring us back through that, the awakening of it.
Wow. That's good to know. Thank you, Theresa.
So if you want to connect with Theresa, you can visit her website at theresaroba.com, which is TheresaRoba.com.
All right, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Theresa. And as we close, we'd like to thank you and thank our viewers for watching and listening to What Matters Most. And remember that the simple things in life are what matters most. Namaste.
Namaste.